and welcome to Dork Lords. It's Amber, Matthew. We're here to talk about Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 8, No One. All right, Amber, your thoughts. I have some strong thoughts on this episode. Go for it.
Shall we begin with Arya?
Okay, well, we begin with Arya, but just like a general overall...
General overall of the episode
impression.
was it did what it's supposed to do before episode 9, which is get everybody going in a certain direction, and it's finally, like, that's what episode 8 always does, is get everybody towards their end goal.
I concur with a few caveats. One, I mean, we'll talk about this, but a lot happened off camera. Surprisingly, especially deaths, but things happened off camera, which was kind of weird. Almost I was like, we're saving the budget for the fight scene next week, so a thing happened. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt a little weird in that way.
But, like, Varys leaving for, I'm assuming he's going back.
We can talk about that.
Yeah. But, like, everybody seemed to be, they're prepared for battle now.
I would say that the one thing I would say somewhat averse to that your statement is that next week is obviously it's the Battle of the Bastards, which, as you pointed out, awesome title, best title maybe of the series.
Yes.
But obviously that's Winterfell, right? So that's we really didn't see a whole lot of Winterfell in this episode. I mean, we didn't. They were like, we got it. Jon and Sansa are doing their thing.
Yeah, they're trying to collect the army.
So this was kind of like everywhere else.
Yeah, it was all the other sub-stories that needed some sort of... They needed to move along quicker. Like the Jaime Lannister thing at Riverrun. Could you imagine if that lasted like 3 episodes, trying to get him to take over Riverrun? I mean, that is a 10-minute.
Okay, are we gonna do Arya first?
I keep jumping.
Or not? No, it's cool because I definitely want to talk about Riverrun. I feel like in some ways it was a waste of time, but okay, we'll come back to it. All right.
Yes.
So Arya, very good. All right, so this is the end theoretically of the Arya and Braavos arc.
Yes, so she's done with the man. I just refer to him as the man. He's
Jaqen H'ghar.
I cannot say that. My mouth doesn't form those
Faceless
words.
guy.
Faceless guy.
Okay.
The very handsome faceless guy, might I add.
All right, fair
yes,
enough.
Very attractive man.
Good.
That needed to end. So then, like, he needed to send the waif to kill Arya, so then they can end ties. Like, that needed to happen. So then Arya hates him, so then she can continue on.
Do you think she hated him, though? I don't know if she hated him.
I think she's angry with him, and there's a very good chance he's on her list now. But very low on her list. He
smiled. I'll say this.
I think he's proud of her.
I feel like she should be on his list. I mean, just because if you think of this, like, hey, this is years back. You know what? If you ever need a job, I will train the heck out of you. Here's a coin. Show up in Braavos. Ask for me. I'm going to train you. She does so. Goes through years of training. I don't know, months, 2 days of training.
4 episodes of training.
She trains for some period of time. It's like, you know what? I think you're just about ready. Yeah, I'm bye. Goodbye. Thanks for the training. I'm gone now. Like
well, it didn't really fit with Arya's character.
I agree that
she would have committed.
In the context of the story, it didn't work. But in terms of just from his point of view, like it was like, oh, wow, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm glad you took in all the training, and then as soon as the job started, you're like, goodbye.
I think he's proud of her, though.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I think he really
on the practical matter, he has no reason to be. But
no, he does care for her, and I think offering her the coin to Braavos was a way to get, because he knew that she had nowhere else to go.
She was no one.
She was no one, and so this was like a form of protection. I think he felt some sort of brotherly or fatherly love towards her.
So we sent Terminator Girl to kill her.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, which, by the way, that...
You have a lot of issues with that whole thing.
I have a lot of issues with that whole thing. So, the Terminator Girl angle, for one thing, like, there was no subtlety to her, I'm saying her, I say the waif. So the waif's assassination skills, you could have paid a large man with a club a couple of pennies to do exactly what she did. Chase her down through the square. Really? Like, you're just chasing a woman, through a girl, whatever, through the marketplace in broad daylight?
I would have thought they would have had some more.
And she didn't have a face on. She wasn't like, oh, I'm actually an old woman. No, she's like, I'm myself in broad daylight chasing someone. What was she going to do if she caught her? Was she going to just kill her right in the middle of the square?
See, which is weird about that fan theory that I was telling you about.
Okay, so there's a fan theory.
Which, it kind of makes sense. And
I just feel like now that it's over, I don't know what that's...
I don't really 100% agree with this fan theory.
Okay.
Theory is that the waif is actually Arya's, like, alter ego. And that the handsome man, say his name.
Jack and Hagar.
Thank you. He...
Take all the horrible...
It was part of the training was that she had to face her inner demons. She had to face herself. So that's like the evil version of Arya. And like anytime he needed to speak to Arya and they were both in the room, he would ask the waif to leave. And if you notice during the fight scene, nobody seemed to really interact with the waif.
No one... I mean, that town is filled with jerks.
Yes.
Basically. Like,
But
there's a little girl.
looking...
She just fell down like 25 flights of stairs, and
Yeah.
I'm complaining about the oranges she
But
knocked
everyone
over.
sees Arya running through,
Yeah.
but nobody seems to notice the waif.
I agree.
And so I feel like there's a story, and I don't know necessarily if it's that's her alter ego or what it is. But
Now, so my argument, and we talked about this, but my argument is that is the fans writing a better scene than the book,
Yes.
or better than the show, because I think it's just this thing is so clunky. I mean,
Yeah.
Arya is acting so out of character as this trained assassin who walks around in broad daylight without her sword. Has this old woman approach her on the bridge without going, "Who are you again?"
Yeah.
You know, so everybody kept thinking, "No, it's not that simple." Obviously, she's got this is her other duality, or she's got this super plan, or
the
it's all.
duality of man.
But instead, at least on the surface value, what we have going forward is that's exactly what it was. She was stupid, didn't die, thank goodness, and the waif was, for this, well-trained assassin, was pretty careless and dumb.
Yeah, I think
Just-
she would have slit her throat if she was actually trying to kill her. Or
And then chasing her down,
stabbing
like
her
she
5
never
times
caught
in the
her.
stomach at random. It doesn't seem the style of the nomad,
Yep.
the no ones.
And then we get to this big, we've seen this training montage has gone on for a while where, I train with a stick. Oh, I'm blind. So we get to finally the moment where it's like, she's now going to use her blind fighting style to defeat the waif because she knocks the candle out. It's a cool scene when she goes,
Yeah,
and
I
flicks
like
the
that.
candle away. And then they just cut away. It seems a little weird when you spend all that time leading up to this fight. This is kind of like Arya's big fight of the season, and you don't show it.
Yeah, and
You
then
don't
you just
show
end
any
with
of
her
it.
face in the wall.
Yeah, like, I did
The
it.
waif's face is like proof that she won.
So that was one of those off-camera things that I just noticed.
Yeah.
Like, really?
No, I didn't realize that until you said that there was a lot of off-camera.
Yeah, because there's another one coming up when we talk about Riverrun. But another off-camera thing in the Arya storyline. This wasn't as egregious, but the fact that we don't see Lady Crane get killed, we just kind of like, her body's
which
like,
is
meh.
weird because they show everything on the show.
They show everything on the
There
show.
isn't anything they won't show.
They just
on
cut
the
to
show.
like Terminator Girl.
We saw the mountain rip a guy's. What did he rip out of him? I'm
Now-
not even certain what part that was.
It was a spine skull
It was
attachment.
like
The Clegane,
everything.
basically all of the action in this episode was the Clegane brothers, I would say, yeah?
Yes.
The Mountain and the Hound did very visceral, like they paid money for those scenes. Like, yeah, don't hit the guy there.
Yeah.
Oh man, ouch. So those were but everything else was somewhat alluded to. It almost felt like a play in a way. Like, you know how a lot of times in a Greek tragedy things will happen off stage and they'll say, the emperor has died, let us mourn him. And you're like, oh, okay. Is that because you just didn't have the money to show it? All right,
Yeah,
anyway,
you just
whatever.
trust that the emperor died. Yeah.
Yeah. So Arya has announced that, I'm not no one. I'm Arya. I'm going back to Westeros.
Westeros or Winterfell?
Well,
I thought she said she was going home.
One and the
and
same.
I-
Going home. Good
right.
point.
But I think her goal is to get back to Winterfell. And see, the thing that throws me about this show is everything going on at the same time. So is it Monday for everybody?
Yeah, right. Right. Or is she having this conversation 2 weeks
6
ago?
months, and so now she's going to show up at Winterfell when Jon Snow and Sansa
Travel times are 0,
fighting.
by the way, in this game,
Right.
too, or in this show. Like,
Non-existent.
Yeah.
And so that's what I can't... It throws me, because sometimes, like, Jaime Lannister getting to Riverrun so quickly, and Brienne and all these people, they seem to all have the ability to fly or something. Or there's, like, an express train that leaves Westeros on the hour every hour in every
they
direction.
have a Hearthstone.
Yeah, and so I can't... It's that bothers me, that, like, if all of a sudden Arya shows up at Winterfell when Jon and Sansa are there, I'm going to be like, really? She was just in Braavos.
I know, exactly. If she actually shows up, I can't believe she will. I think that... I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the last we see of Arya this season. Maybe we get one little, 2-minute thing of her arriving in Westeros, like in episode 10.
I don't like that. She's my favorite.
I'm just saying. It's good that she'd be back in the story,
She's
though.
my favorite. I hate when we don't see them.
Then I will mention this then. Something that was kind of interesting was that little conversation she had with Lady Kramer. She's like, what would you do with your life? And she's like, I wonder what's west of Westeros. She talks about, going, I could see that maybe as being, an ending arc for her eventually. Whatever. Season 8.
She just sails off.
She sails off to the west, almost like a Lord of the Rings thing.
Ends up in California.
The Great Havens. She goes to California, goes to the Baja Peninsula.
Right.
Anyway, that was an interesting little moment there because it was similar to we see Tyrion later on, I don't know, somewhere in the episode talk about how he wants to run a vineyard.
It was a lot of dreaming of
There was just what would you do with your life if you could live in a peaceful time?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we talked about Arya.
You want to get to Riverrun?
We'll do Riverrun. Okay. So this thing, it built up nicely. There's some great tension. Brienne shows up. Oh, wow. She's not on Jaime's side. That's going to be weird.
When she told him, I'm
going to have to kill you.
True to my word, and we will have to fight.
And he lets her keep the sword.
And he said, I hope not. I hope it doesn't come to that.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't come to that.
That was the most romantic thing Jaime Lannister is capable of saying.
And he does make it happen that it doesn't come to that.
Yeah.
Which is great, except my point is, it undercuts the entire... What's the point? Other than getting Jaime out of King's Landing, what was the point of that scene? Or that whole, this last 2 episodes? So Brienne's supposed to go get the Blackfish's help.
Yes.
That's her job. She doesn't do it.
Right.
Ultimately, doesn't work out. So she just turns and goes back. Theoretically, she's just going... She could have just stayed. For all the good she did, she could have just stayed. Jaime's job was go get this castle and come back. He gets the castle.
Everybody wanted Brienne and Jaime gone from different sides to keep them out of certain things.
See, it felt more story-driven. It's not good for the story if Jaime's in... So let's get him out.
Yeah.
As opposed to, a real necessity.
Well, Jaime and Cersei, whenever they're together, are horrible. It's some of the most cringeworthy scenes are when Jaime and Cersei are in the same room.
Now, in that scene where Jaime's interrogating or torturing, I don't know what you call it, emotionally torturing Edmure.
Yeah, verbally abusing.
That was a pretty cool scene. I enjoyed that scene. It felt really flat all of a sudden when Edmure just gives up the castle, and then again another off-screen death where the Blackfish is like, I'm not joining you, I'm going to go die. And then later on they're saying, the Blackfish died.
They could have afforded a little bit of a fight scene with the Blackfish.
A little heroic death.
That would have been awesome to watch him.
And I feel like he's dead. Sure, could he come back because we didn't see him die? Yes, but he's not that big a character that you would do this great, he's not dead. Right. You're just he went off to his death.
He's not Jon Snow.
He's no Jon Snow.
No.
Hey. So that was also somewhat underwhelming.
Yeah, but I think it's because Jaime knew that the Tullys, and Catelyn is a Tully, and they all seem to really love their children. Right, and he makes
that connection to Cersei.
He has a child that he hasn't even met, but he knows his child exists, and so Edmure Tully.
So he threatens to catapult Edmure Tully's kid over the walls.
And we know he would do it.
And we're pretty sure he'd do it.
He knocked Bran out of a window so he can continue doing his sister.
Which, by the way, he says the same line that he did before. He did the things we do for love.
Yeah.
It's the same line he did before he pushed Bran out the window.
I think that's going to be the new Lannister motto.
He brings it up again. But, for instance, if, let's say, in that pivotal moment where Brienne is escaping, Brienne and Pod are escaping on the boat, and they're like, "Come with us, Blackfish." If he had come with them, at least that would have meant something for the Riverrun thing. Like, oh, you know what? They got that general out of, and then he can help them in the battle with Winterfell. It just seems so anticlimactic in the way of.
I think it shows to the, like what Sansa has always been saying, that everybody in the North is very loyal, and they're like, for the Blackfish, that's his home, that's his family's home. He'd rather die there, fighting to save it than
which he did.
Just leave.
Yeah.
And so I think that speaks a lot to the Tully family, in that they're very loyal to their family and their home, and they have a lot of respect, and they think that it's more courageous to die fighting and defending.
And I did like
swim away in a boat with Brienne and.
Yeah, she just retreated.
Yeah.
Edmure's comment to Jaime, like, you know, is basically thinking like every villain thinks of themselves as the good guy. He's like, you know, everyone thinks they're decent. How do you rationalize being decent?
Because he does, like, 49% of the time, he is being a decent human being.
Yeah, and you can tell, like, he seems self-aware. He seems to know that he and his family are jerks, and he's like, yeah, that's kind of what we are, but we're family.
But I think he had Tyrion growing up, and so that softened him.
He's Olive Garden. When you hear your family.
Exactly.
That's the other new Lannister motto.
Yes, when you hear your family and things are.
They give you free breadsticks when you show up at Lannister.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so.
And never-ending salad.
Never-ending salad, right? Of course, of course. When you're with the Lannisters, never-ending salad.
Yeah.
Because there was that weird, somewhat segues into the odd joke, the joke that Tyrion told about Lannisters, Tyrells, and Starks. So the big joke being that if the Stark got a fly in their cup, he would tell the fly to give the wine back.
Yes.
So, okay. Yeah.
It was a funny scene. I think it was done to soften up not Melisandre.
Grey Worm?
Grey Worm and what's her face?
Missandei.
Missandei or something. Yeah. Melisandre and Missandei
we'll call
names are too close.
Junior.
To soften them up a little bit and move their story a step ahead, because it got Grey Worm looking at her.
Felt like it was a little long.
Oh, it definitely was long.
It felt like the momentum of the show stalled for a while there. I like, because we'd already seen one version of that, right? A couple episodes ago, he tries to get them to loosen up.
That failed miserably.
And it failed.
But
this one does not fail.
Drinking wine and telling jokes.
Right. There's actually progress.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, of course, so Daenerys comes back.
She just, her dragon.
We don't see that. I think that's
an
off-screen thing in a way.
We have to assume that the dragon set everything on fire.
I'm back.
And then he dropped her off. And she just walked in. She's like, okay, let's do this now. And
yeah. So that's interesting. Okay, so this is kind of interesting in that Tyrion's plan fails, right? Or somewhat, right? He's like, hey, we're gonna tell the slavers that we give them 7 years, and then they're gonna cooperate. Well, nope. They show up with a big fleet of ships.
He thinks everybody's as intelligent as he is, and so they'll see the benefits to doing it that way. But everybody in these parts of Westeros are fighters. They're not gonna. They don't want to bargain.
So they show up. We get the idea now. We get the idea that with Daenerys and the dragons, there's now 3 of them. So they will probably burn the crap out of those ships.
Oh yeah, guess. I'm assuming that everybody's dead now in the ship.
The other thing that could happen, and probably will actually, is that the Greyjoys are going to show up with their fleet of ships.
I thought that was the Greyjoys when I first saw it.
I did too. And they're like, oh,
that was again going to go with the whole, what time is it?
Right.
When are all these storylines actually happening? Because I don't believe they're coinciding with each other.
I think the Greyjoys are going to show up and either help get rid of that navy, or I don't know. Somehow that's going to happen. There's going to be a naval battle, even though the dragons could probably wipe these things out. They'd be like, no, they're ships. So we could save the ship. Maybe that's it. Save the ships because we need them. So don't burn the ships, dragons. Can you just burn the people?
Because they do.
Can you just target your fire at people?
I'll get you a straw.
Collateral damage.
Your fire.
Ixnay on the collateral damage.
Yes.
So I think that's going to happen, and they get ships. Either those ships or those ships plus Greyjoy ships.
Do we know if next season's the last season?
What I was told, or what I've gotten out of it, is that there are 2 seasons left, but they're not 10-episode seasons. They're like
So it's
7
like Mad Men
episodes and
style?
6 episodes, so it's like 13 episodes left. Just over, like let's say a season and a half are left.
So we're finally going to get everybody in Westeros.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, now, 2 things are brought up in this episode that are deliberately mysterious and are obviously leading to some big plot points. One is Varys in this moment where he's like, I'm going off on my secret mission, and I don't need a dwarf with me, the most famous dwarf in the region. That's kind of a nice little moment where Tyrion's like, the most famous dwarf in the world, other than Gimli. But okay, anyway. So,
Wrong story.
Oops. Okay. So, what is Varys'
the
secret
most
mission?
famous eunuch in the world.
Yeah, good point.
I think his secret mission...
I have a theory.
See, I had this theory when I was watching it, and I forgot it now, and this is why I should make notes.
Okay.
He's going... I don't believe he's going back to Westeros.
I agree.
He is not going back there.
No.
I have a feeling he might be trying to go to Braavos.
Okay.
Because isn't he from Braavos?
I think he has connections there,
Where
for
he
sure.
has connections or something. I think that's the last place where his little birds might be.
Okay.
And so he can get...
I kind of hope that's true as opposed to my theory, which my theory would piss me off.
Which is the one who he betrayed them?
No, my theory is he's going to get help from Dorne. Which means that we have to bring the Dorne thing back into play, which no one likes the Dorne subplot. No one likes it. But they just, like last time we saw them, there was this big coup. They're just out there somewhere hanging out, and they hate the Lannisters. If you were Varys and you're like supporting Daenerys and they're about to attack West, you're like, what's an ally we can get to fight the Lannisters?
I hope it's not Dorne.
So I had this feeling we're going to see a shot of Varys hanging out in Dorne, like, we need to get your help, and they're like, okay. That's my theory. I'm hoping actually it's not true. Braavos, the Braavos theory. Let's go with the Braavos theory.
Because Braavos seems to be a land of free men, where it'd be easier to.
They have cash too.
Yeah, and they all have cash, and it would be easier to build up resources that he knows that Daenerys needs.
We feel like he's going to meet someone, right? That we've already met. So who's he going to meet? If he goes to Braavos, who does he meet up with?
I don't know specifically who in Braavos, but I mean, he was a part of an acting troupe. So maybe it's like the head actor dude from who put the play on. I mean, I kind of got a feeling that guy has a bigger story. It
is a name actor that they got for the lead. I forgot his name now. Such a good name, I can't remember it. But it is actually kind of a legit actor.
You should take notes too.
I should take notes. That guy. It was a little bit of a surprise that his part was a throwaway. But okay, so that's an interesting theory. I hope that's right as opposed to the Dorne one. We'll find out in 2 episodes.
Yeah,
because by the end of the season, I think we'll see him show up.
It makes sense wherever he's going to go.
Okay.
I mean,
he could have even showed up to the Greyjoys. He could be trying to I need ships. I'll go to. I don't think so though. I think they're already on their way.
I think he's a sunny weather kind of fella.
It's a sunny weather.
And I don't
Dorne.
think
Damn it.
Dorne or Braavos seem to be the sunnier of the areas besides.
He kind of dresses like a Dornish person anyway. All right.
He does.
So the other big little mysterious comment left off to the side is when in King's Landing, when we see Qyburn, I think is his name.
Yeah. Crazy dude.
When Cersei's like, are those rumors true? Are they more than rumors? And he's like, they're more, much more.
He's a creepy dude.
He is a creepy dude. So he's talked to his birds, little birds.
I like that we know that little birds are actually children.
Little kids. He's talked to the kids. He's not. He doesn't have bird speak, and there's the rumors are true. So this isn't. This is not a theory that is totally mine. I think this is already out there on the internet. But it occurred to me as I was watching it, and I was like, oh, someone else has this theory too. The rumor that there is still a whole bunch of wildfire in containers under the city, maybe left over from the Mad King, and so I think the idea is, okay, here we go. It seems like Cersei's plan is to blow something up.
Yeah.
Perhaps the High Septim, the church.
Yeah.
Right? So here's my thought is she's going to blow it up. We're probably going to see that maybe episode 10. And Tommen's going to be in the church. She's not going to realize it, but she's going to do a blowy-uppy thing and blow up her own kid.
See, I believe that, but I also believe that she will know that Tommen is in there and she will kill him because she'd rather her children die.
Well, you think so? She
She
seems like she's
tried
like
to
keeping
kill
her kids
them
alive. I know he's doing all these
In
things
the
against
Battle
her.
of
but-
Westeros.
Okay.
She
that's true. There was
trying
that
to kill
time when
him.
she was like,
she'd
"I'll kill
rather
him."
watch her children die than not love her.
Okay.
That's just who
So she's
she
gonna
is.
she's gonna take it on herself. Like, you know what? The prophecy says you're gonna die anyway. Let's just get it over with.
Because I
Bloom.
think once he declared that there will no longer be battle,
Which, by the
trial
way,
by combat.
Clegane Bowl. Hold on to that thought because I still think it's
gonna
happening, but not quite in the way we thought.
No.
So, all right,
But-
but yeah. So Tommen says, "Hey, there's no trial by combat. It's brutish," which it actually is.
Oh, it's horrendous.
It's a horrendous, but
The mountain crushed a guy's skull.
the only reason they're calling it off
Another
is because
dude went flying through the moon door.
well, the only reason and they're calling it off. Obviously, what we see is the Faith shows up and says, "You're coming with us," and Cersei's like, "I choose violence," and then the mountain rips a guy's face off, and it's after that we see Tommen make this decree. So obviously, the Faith went back and said, "We have a problem. If we do a trial by combat, she's just going to win. So we need to get rid of that." And so obviously, the High Sparrow said to Tommen, "You know what would be great if we got rid of that." And so I think that's obviously why that happens chronologically the way it does.
Do you believe that Marjorie is working to get back in control, get back into position, so she can eliminate the High Sparrow and all of his little sparrow weirdos?
I don't know if she has as big a grudge against the Sparrow or Cersei. I mean, obviously she has a grudge against both.
I think she's using her current position to encourage the High Sparrow to continue to go after Cersei. But now that her brother is still in play,
True.
I think she's going to continue to try to work him, and she's going to.
Like if she could backstab the High Sparrow or Cersei and only pick one of them.
I think she would pick the High Sparrow to save her brother.
Okay. All right.
She's again another one who loves her family and will do anything for her family.
Yeah.
So I think she would kill the High Sparrow to save her brother.
Okay.
And then sleep with the mountain to convince him to kill Cersei or something.
Sure.
She seems to like sleeping with people to try to get them to
Giant
do
zombies.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see why that would be beneath her.
But yeah, so the Clegane Bowl is on a hiatus, partially also because huge thing with the Hound. Hound joins up with the Brotherhood Without Banners.
Yes.
As I called them last week, I think the Doctors Without Borders. He joins up with Doctors Without Borders. It's a really, they're helping. They're helping people that are being killed on these
all across Westeros.
So that's another theory that I didn't necessarily ascribe to, but a lot of people were hoping to see Lady Stoneheart in that moment. And
I don't think she's
that's-
going to make an appearance.
I think we're done.
I think we
I
need
think
to
we're
give
done on
up
the Lady Stoneheart.
the hope of Lady Stoneheart appearing.
Unfortunately so. But they, that's Beric and Thoros of Myr. A funny scene where they're negotiating who can kill who. Like, all right, you get one. I want to kill two. All right, you can kill two, but not kill. You can only hang them. All right, fine. Anyway, that was kind of interesting, fun little haha moment.
And again, with what they show, oh my God, they showed the Hound go into the bathroom in the lake and actually showed stuff.
They showed stuff.
Why is it in this episode they couldn't show a single fight, but I got to see the Hound's hanging
His family jewels.
Yes.
His hounds.
Why is that something that happened to me?
That was unexpected.
That's what I don't get with this show. It's like,
Yeah, just peeing in a stream.
you show everything. You won't show a fight, though?
Which
We want to see fights more than we want to see the Hound and his member.
Right, his full glory. But again, anti-Clegane Bowl-ish is that Beric and Thoros, maybe two of the only people outside of the Jon Snow group that are like, yeah, actually, there's a huge battle going to happen. We got problems north of the Wall. Mm-hmm. Like, they seem to realize, oh, there's White Walkers.
Yeah.
And so they're like, come with us. And at least for now, the Hound is joining them to go theoretically fight White Walkers. So that takes him farther away from the mountain. I still say the Mountain and the Hound are going to meet up somewhere down the road. Maybe not in this trial by combat since it seems to be called off, but there will be a one-on-one before the end of season 10.
What if on the way to fight the White Walkers beyond the Wall, they come across Winterfell and join Jon Snow and Sansa?
And then somewhere in all that fighting,
the
Hound maybe hears more about what the Mountain's doing, and maybe it's like,
yes, and then
you
at
guys
that
keep
point
going,
he
I'm going.
decides to go back to Westeros.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling they're going to end up.
Yeah,
at
I don't think he's like completely bonded with the.
No, I think that
Doctors
he got
Without
used
Borders.
to traveling with people.
Yeah.
I think he finally started humanizing, and so he was used to.
His story arc is actually pretty cool. Generally, like he's actually somewhat
like the
redemptive.
fact that he's still alive.
That is hard to redeem yourself if you're dead. It's true. Not impossible on this show, but yeah.
Because he was so dead on that rock.
It
seems like
he was
such
breathing.
a stretch.
Okay, but yeah. I mean, he said "kill me." He could still verbalize it. All right. We are at a half hour, so we've talked. We probably talked this thing out. Any final thoughts? What's coming next? No, next week is.
I think we should wear costumes for next week's review.
Maybe the whole episode is going to be the one battle.
I think the whole episode is going to be Winterfell.
So you think 60 minutes of the Battle of the Bastards.
And then I think in episode 10...
Ramsay Bolton dies.
He's going to die a painful death.
Horribly.
A disgusting, painful death.
In the last 5 minutes of the episode, it will happen.
I want everybody to grab a part of him and pull as hard as they possibly can.
Will he get eaten by hounds?
They're going to have a giant. Maybe the giant will kill Ramsay.
Sure.
I want the giant to kill Ramsay.
Some people want Sansa to kill him. Some people want Jon Snow. People want the dire wolves to kill him.
I want so many things to happen to that man.
Okay. So
I
maybe
kind of want him to be tortured for a while, but then that means we have to still listen to him, and he'd probably enjoy the torture.
That's true. He's kind of a masochist.
Yeah, he is a weird dude.
So to kill him in a non-heroic way.
Creepy, weird dude.
He wanted to be killed. The actor said he wanted to be killed in a heroic way. Like, hey, I get it. I'm going to die. I deserve to die. But like, if I could just get like breathed on by dragon fire or something.
It's not going to happen. No, he's going to die a painful, disgusting death. It's probably going to be one of the worst. It's probably going to be worse than skull crushing.
Littlefinger's bringing in the army. Okay. Here's one way. This isn't even a theory because I don't believe it. But here's a way that you could make Riverrun actually have some relevance. After what had seemed to happen, it seemed to kind of like, stall out. Maybe Jaime. So there's a whole bunch of Tullys that just gave up their castle.
Yeah.
What if Jaime's like, okay, you guys lay down your arms. Great. Of course, you lay down your arms. I'll send these after you. Maybe somehow Jaime lets them go north to fight. Like, he's not going to send Lannisters to fight in this battle. But maybe he's like, you know what, Tullys? Go get them. I got your castle. Go where you will. But you know what? Maybe Winterfell might be a nice spot for you to show up. I don't know. Maybe he sends them along as kind of a nod to Brienne. It's like, I don't know. Maybe. We'll
I know. I think he loves Brienne, and I can see him doing that.
Yeah. So that would actually make some sense of the whole seemingly pointless circle of Riverrun.
Yeah. And I think that Littlefinger's heading towards Riverrun.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think the way we're going to get Jaime and Tyrion back together is that Littlefinger is going to let it slip. He's going to somehow reveal that he's responsible for Joffrey's death.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's how, because we can't live in a world where Jaime and Tyrion hate each other, where Jaime hates Tyrion. That's just...
I don't know that they technically do, but...
He said he would kill him if he ever
said
saw
he
him.
would. Okay.
He killed his father, and yeah, he's mad about his father and all that, but I think Littlefinger's going to die because of Jaime.
You think Littlefinger's going to die because of Jaime?
I think Jaime's going to kill Littlefinger.
Why?
I think that Littlefinger is going to do something stupid, and he's going to reveal that. It's going to be revealed. Sansa's going to turn on Littlefinger.
That was episode 8. Next week, episode 9. Always the big episode. As you say, we're going to be in costume.
Yes.
Probably.
I'm going to be dressed as a dragon.
Okay, great. Awesome. So we'll see you then. Thank you, Amber. Appreciate it. Dork Lords, everybody. Bye-bye.